For decades, white-collar workers believed they were safe. Automation was something that happened in factories, not in offices. But that illusion is disappearing faster than anyone expected. Across corporate America, something unprecedented is happening. Entire roles are evaporating quietly, silently, without a single announcement. Not because companies are struggling, but because AI can now do the very tasks that once required a college degree. Customer support teams are shrinking. Paralegals are watching software draft in 10 seconds, what used to take them all day. Junior analysts, the backbone of every corporate department, are seeing AI outperform them with perfect accuracy and zero fatigue. This isn't science fiction. This isn't hype. It's already unfolding inside offices from New York to San Francisco, and most people have no idea it's happening to them until it does. Because this time, automation isn't replacing factory workers. This time, AI is replacing the office. And over the next few minutes, you're going to see why the white-collar workforce, the group once considered untouchable, may be standing on the edge of the biggest disruption since the invention of the computer. Welcome to the new reality. For most of modern American history, white-collar workers lived with a quiet confidence. Automation was something that happened to someone else. It was the factory worker, the truck driver, the assembly line operator who had to worry. Office workers believed they were insulated, protected by education, complexity, and the prestige of a degree. But that belief, that sense of safety, is collapsing. Because over the last 3 years, a new kind of automation has emerged. Not mechanical, not physical, but cognitive. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot. These systems didn't just get better. They leapt forward in a way no analyst, no economist, no corporate leader predicted. Think back to 2020. AI could barely hold a conversation, let alone draft a legal brief or analyze a financial statement. Today, in 2025, it can complete tasks that once required entire teams of trained professionals, and it does them in seconds. This isn't incremental progress. This is a break in the curve. The kind of technological jump that rewrites entire industries before people even realize what happened. And we already have real-world casualties. Take one SaaS company in California. 6 months after introducing an AI-powered support system, they quietly reduced their customer support staff by nearly 40%. No layoffs. No mass announcement. Just natural attrition, people leaving, and no one being hired to replace them. The remaining workers weren't replaced by a person. They were replaced by an interface. By a system that improved every week, never took a break, and cost less than a single entry-level salary. What happened there is not the exception. It's the early signal of a seismic shift, a shift the white-collar world has been completely unprepared for. To understand what comes next, we need to recognize one essential fact. This new wave of automation has nothing in common with the old one. Industrial robots replaced physical labor, repetitive, predictable tasks done by hand. They didn't threaten the accountant, the researcher, the HR coordinator, the analyst. Those jobs required judgment, language, interpretation, things machines couldn't touch. But the AI systems emerging today don't operate like robots. They don't need arms, or sensors, or conveyor belts. They operate in the same arena white-collar workers do. Inside documents, emails, spreadsheets, contracts, and conversations. AI now writes professional emails at scale. It analyzes data with more precision than junior analysts. It drafts contracts, generates reports, and handles customer interactions with consistency no human team can match. And unlike past technologies, this wave isn't targeting low-skill labor first. It's targeting the very skills that define the office economy. For decades, white-collar success depended on 3 abilities: processing information, communicating clearly, and solving structured problems. AI can now do all 3, faster, cheaper, and without fatigue. This is why the disruption feels different. This is why it feels personal. Because automation is no longer creeping toward the office from the outside. It's emerging from within the tools white-collar workers use every day. And the truth is unavoidable. If your job is built on tasks that can be predicted, documented, repeated, or measured, AI has already begun learning how to do it. What we are witnessing isn't a shift in technology. It's a shift in the foundation of the white-collar economy itself. Something unusual is happening across corporate America. Something workers can feel, but can't quite explain. Companies aren't announcing layoffs the way they used to. There are no dramatic press releases. No headlines about thousands of jobs being cut. Instead, the workforce is shrinking quietly. It starts with a hiring freeze. A position opens and simply never gets filled. Someone leaves and no replacement is posted. An entire department slowly thins out month after month until the team looks nothing like it did a year earlier. On paper, nothing dramatic happened. In reality, a silent restructuring is underway. Between 2024 and 2025, dozens of major corporations reduced headcount by significant margins, not through mass layoffs, but through attrition. People left, and the company discovered AI could absorb their workload. Workers don't hear the words, "You're being replaced by AI." They hear, "We're pausing hiring." They hear, "We're reorganizing teams." They hear, "We're exploring efficiencies." But underneath those phrases is the truth no one wants to say out loud. AI is already doing the work that once required actual employees. And that's what makes this wave so different and so dangerous. In past recessions, layoffs were visible, public, impossible to ignore. This time, the losses are hidden inside spreadsheets, productivity dashboards, and software licenses. You don't see the elimination until the job has already vanished. Millions of Americans have no idea they are being replaced, not because it isn't happening, but because it's happening quietly, silently, algorithmically, one position at a time. By the time the average worker realizes what's happening, the shift will already be complete. To understand how far this transformation has already gone, we need to look at the jobs that are declining right now. Not predictions, not theories, but real roles already being absorbed by AI. Customer support used to be the front line of corporate America. Thousands of workers handling calls, emails, and tickets every day. Today, AI systems handle those same tasks with near-instant response times and zero wait. Companies aren't scaling their teams anymore. They're scaling their software. Support desks that once needed hundreds of employees can now operate with a handful of supervisors overseeing AI agents that never sleep, never burn out, and never lose track of a customer. This role isn't declining because humans are performing worse. It's declining because AI is performing better. The legal field was supposed to be resistant, a fortress of specialized knowledge. But AI has cracked the walls faster than anyone expected. Paralegals once spent hours reviewing documents, drafting motions, preparing summaries, and searching case law. AI can now complete those tasks in minutes, often with greater consistency and fewer errors. Law firms aren't replacing lawyers. They're replacing the layers beneath them. And for the first time in American history, the entry-level legal ladder, the path that built thousands of careers, is beginning to break. This is the job that AI has devoured the fastest. Any role built on repetitive, structured information processing is disappearing at a speed that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Forms, reports, spreadsheets, transactions, tasks once done by teams of workers are now handled automatically by AI pipelines that require almost no oversight. Companies aren't asking, "Do we still need data entry workers?" They're asking, "Why did we ever need them in the first place?" These three jobs are only the visible layer, the early casualties of a much larger transformation. What's happening to them today will happen to many more roles tomorrow. This is only the beginning. If you want to understand what the next 5 years will look like, you need to start with the jobs that are already standing closest to the edge. These are the roles that AI can imitate almost perfectly, the tasks that require pattern recognition, structured thinking, predictable outputs, and repeatable processes. And by 2030, several of these positions may shrink by 70 to 90%. Entry-level copywriters are one of the first to feel the pressure. AI now produces ad copy, taglines, product descriptions, email campaigns, and social captions faster than entire creative teams. Companies aren't hiring junior writers anymore. They're hiring one editor to refine what an LLM generates. Junior analysts, once the backbone of corporate America, are seeing their workflows taken apart piece by piece. Data cleaning, spreadsheet modeling, forecasting, trend analysis, AI performs all of it with perfect consistency and zero fatigue. The traditional analyst pipeline isn't evolving, it's dissolving. Market research assistants are watching AI scrape millions of data points, cluster consumer behavior, and generate insights in minutes. The entry-level role that once served as a stepping stone into analytics is disappearing because the stepping stone itself is no longer needed. Basic graphic designers are also facing a dramatic shift. Tasks like banner ads, thumbnails, product graphics, formatting, and layout work can now be produced by generative systems in seconds. Companies that used to rely on freelancers or junior designers are moving to automated workflows that never miss deadlines. Even financial reporting assistants, a role once thought safe due to complexity, are being displaced. AI connects directly to internal systems, compiles data, flags anomalies, and generates audit-ready summaries instantly. One financial firm cut their reporting cycle from 3 days to just over an hour after adopting AI. That 60-fold improvement didn't just increase productivity, it erased entire layers of human labor. Tier 1 isn't speculative, it's happening right now. These roles aren't declining gently, they're approaching extinction. But not every job disappears entirely. Some roles won't be eliminated, they'll be transformed. They will still exist, but with far fewer people, because AI will take over the majority of their core tasks. These are the hybrid jobs, positions where humans supervise the system rather than perform every detail themselves. Account managers will remain, but the nature of their work is shifting. AI handles follow-ups, scheduling, reporting, sentiment analysis, and even parts of client communication. Humans will focus on relationships, while AI executes the operational backbone. Fewer people will be needed to do the same volume of work. HR coordinators are experiencing the same transition. AI screens, resumes, ranks candidates, schedules, interviews, and drafts onboarding materials. The administrative load is disappearing, leaving humans responsible only for judgment and exception handling. That means smaller teams. Not because HR becomes less important, but because AI can now automate 70% of the process. Project managers, especially in low-complexity environments, are seeing AI track deadlines, assign tasks, generate updates, and flag risks automatically. The PM role won't vanish, but it will consolidate. Humans will oversee complex projects, while AI runs the routine ones. Medical billing specialists, once buried under paperwork, are being replaced by AI systems that read charts, code procedures, and submit claims with near-perfect accuracy. Only unusual or disputed cases require human attention. Everything else flows through automated pipelines. Insurance underwriters face a similar reality. Underwriting depends on pattern recognition, which AI excels at. Risk scoring, document review, pricing models, customer segmentation. AI handles them flawlessly. Human underwriters remain in the loop, but not in the center of the process. This is the truth behind Tier 2. These jobs don't vanish, but they shrink. They evolve into oversight roles, supervisory roles, high-level decision roles. The work that once required a full team may soon require just a few people supported by systems that run 24 hours a day without slowing down. And for millions of American workers, that shift may redefine what job security means in the AI era. Not every white-collar job is headed for extinction. Some roles will survive not because they're immune to automation, but because their value comes from judgment, creativity, ethics, complexity, and human trust. These jobs won't disappear, but the old version of them absolutely will. Engineers will still exist, but they won't spend their time on repetitive coding or manual debugging. AI will write most of the boilerplate, generate prototypes, test variations, and optimize performance. Engineers will shift from builders to orchestrators, people who direct, evaluate, and constrain powerful automated systems. Doctors will remain essential, but their work is transforming too. AI already reads scans, flags anomalies, summarizes patient histories, and recommends probable diagnoses. Physicians won't be replaced, but the version of medicine they practice will rely heavily on machine-driven analysis. The doctor becomes a strategist, the one who interprets, contextualizes, and ultimately makes decisions AI cannot ethically make. Marketers will continue to shape consumer behavior, but the creative pipeline underneath them is being rebuilt. AI now generates concepts, drafts, campaigns, analyzes sentiment, predicts trends, and tests messaging at massive scale. The marketer of the future won't start with a blank page. They'll start with 100 AI-generated ideas and choose which direction deserves human attention. Data scientists aren't vanishing either, but their role is shifting upward. AI now handles cleaning, normalization, feature generation, and baseline modeling. The data scientist becomes the architect, not the technician. Someone who understands systems deeply enough to judge whether the model is safe, fair, and aligned with business risk. And executives? They will still lead organizations, but the job will no longer be intuition-driven. AI provides real-time forecasts, competitor analysis, supply chain predictions, and sentiment tracking. Leaders who rely purely on gut instinct will fall behind. The executive of 2030 is part strategist, part analyst, part decision theorist, a human interpreting machine-scale information. This is the truth behind Tier 3. The job doesn't disappear, the old version of it disappears. But while some jobs survive, the financial stability they once offered may not. Because there's another shift happening inside corporate America, a more subtle one, but possibly more devastating. The pay compression phenomenon. AI doesn't just replace work, it resets the economic value of entire skill sets. When AI can perform the average level of a task, the middle of the distribution, the market no longer rewards being average. Companies don't pay premium salaries for skills that software can execute at near zero cost. That creates a squeeze. The top performers may still command high salaries, but the large middle, the group that once made up the backbone of the American middle class, sees their income pushed downward. Not because they're less capable, but because AI has redefined what average looks like. This is a problem the American audience feels deeply. For years, productivity has risen while wages stagnated. Young professionals work harder than ever, yet struggle to afford homes, childcare, healthcare, or education. AI threatens to accelerate that divide. It increases output, but it doesn't increase salaries. It makes companies more efficient, but it doesn't guarantee workers a larger share of the value they help create. In effect, AI pushes the floor downward and the ceiling upward. The extremes grow, the middle shrinks, and for millions of young Americans entering the workforce, the promise of stable white-collar income becomes harder to reach. This is pay compression, and it may reshape the economic identity of an entire generation. When white-collar jobs shrink, the impact doesn't stop at the office door. It reshapes the entire American economy. Because white-collar workers aren't just employees, they're home buyers, borrowers, consumers, taxpayers, and the engine of the middle-class marketplace. When their income becomes unstable, the ripple effect touches every sector. Housing is the first domino. White-collar income has historically driven suburban growth, rent demand, mortgages, renovations, the entire ecosystem of real estate. But when fewer people feel secure in their career path, fewer feel confident taking on a 30-year mortgage. Demand slows, construction slows, prices stall or fall in regions that once thrived on stable professional salaries. And when housing slows in America, GDP slows with it. Then comes education. If young professionals doubt they'll earn enough to justify student loans, college enrollment shifts. Entire institutions depend on white-collar career pipelines to survive. When entry-level pathways vanish or shrink, young Americans reevaluate whether a degree is worth decades of debt. And that recalculation shakes the financial stability of universities across the country. Insurance feels the shock next. Health insurance, life insurance, disability insurance all rely on steady employer-based income. When employers hire fewer people, insure fewer people, and contribute less per employee, the system strains. Fewer white-collar jobs means fewer premiums, fewer contributions, fewer stable participants, and the cost of coverage rises for everyone else. Technology sectors feel it too. Consumer tech, subscription services, productivity tools. These industries depend heavily on a financially comfortable middle class. When the professional workforce tightens, so does discretionary spending. Innovation doesn't slow because companies lack ideas. It slows because consumers lack disposable income. White-collar contraction doesn't just change corporate balance sheets, it changes the lived experience of American life. And nowhere is that more visible than in the college crisis. For years, American universities sold a promise: get a degree, get a stable job, build a secure life. But the economy is shifting faster than the education system can adapt. Many of the skills universities teach, writing, basic analysis, research assistance, content creation, data preparation, are now the exact tasks AI performs at industrial scale. Students are paying more than ever for an education whose market value is declining. Tuition rises each year, yet the salary premium for degree holders is shrinking. The cost of the ticket keeps increasing while the destination becomes less certain. And then there are the dead majors programs that once led to reliable entry-level roles, now collapsing under the weight of automation. Degrees in communications, basic marketing, graphic arts, research support, administrative studies fields, built on tasks that AI now executes faster, cheaper, and with limitless capacity. Young Americans feel this tension acutely. They are being asked to commit to tens of thousands of dollars in loans for programs that may no longer provide the return they once did. It's not that education has lost its value, it's that the economic assumptions beneath the system have changed and colleges haven't kept up. And if higher education cannot evolve quickly enough, the crisis won't be limited to students. It will undermine universities, reshape enrollment trends, and destabilize the very institutions that have defined American opportunity for generations. The American middle class has been under pressure for years, but AI is amplifying that pressure in ways we've never seen before. Because when white-collar incomes fall, or even just flatten, while the cost of living keeps rising, the financial equation that sustained the American dream collapses. People are earning less value for the same degrees, the same long hours, the same effort. But rent is higher, groceries are higher, healthcare is higher, childcare is higher. And because AI lowers the market value of average professional output, salaries are no longer keeping pace with the world people have to live in. We're entering an era where millions of Americans are overeducated and underpaid, a generation holding bachelor's and master's degrees, but wondering why they're living paycheck to paycheck. And it's not because they made bad choices. It's because the economic ground shifted beneath them while no one warned them to move. Ask a 8-year-old professional in New York or Los Angeles what their life feels like. They'll tell you they have a degree, a respectable job title, maybe even 2 side gigs, but they still can't afford a starter home. Their student loans never shrink, and every raise is swallowed by inflation before it even reaches their bank account. Or talk to a first-year analyst in Chicago making $55,000 while paying $2,400 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. They're not failing. The system around them has changed. This is the middle-class squeeze. It isn't a headline, it's a lived experience. And AI is accelerating the divide between what people earn and what it actually costs to be alive in America. And while individual workers feel the squeeze, corporations are locked in a different kind of battle, an AI arms race that is reshaping the economy from the top down. The rules are brutally simple. The first company to adopt AI cuts costs, increases output, and pulls ahead. That advantage forces every competitor to follow, because no CEO wants to explain to shareholders why their margins are shrinking while everyone else's are exploding upward. This system-level pressure accelerates automation far faster than consumers or policymakers can respond. It doesn't matter whether a company wants to use AI, it matters that they can't afford not to. And once AI becomes the industry norm, every firm that relies heavily on human labor becomes a liability. In sector after sector, finance, marketing, insurance, consulting, tech, the same pattern is emerging. One company deploys AI and cuts 40% of operating costs. The next company copies them, then the next, and the next, until the entire industry is operating on a new baseline where humans are simply optional. This isn't a story about individual layoffs. It's a story about competitive gravity, a force pulling every company toward maximum automation, whether they like it or not. And in that race, labor is the first cost to fall. For the American workforce, that means the pace of job displacement won't be slow. It won't be gradual. It will be exponential, driven not by innovation alone, but by the pressure to survive. Even in the middle of this disruption, there is real opportunity because the future won't belong to the people who compete with AI, but to the people who learn to direct it. The key isn't to outrun the machine. The key is to become the kind of worker the machine cannot replace. And that begins with a set of skills AI struggles to imitate because they rely on context, human nuance, and lived experience. Critical thinking sits at the top of that list, not just analyzing information, but questioning assumptions, recognizing patterns across unrelated fields, and knowing when something looks wrong, even if the data says it's fine. AI can process information, but it cannot yet understand meaning. Cross-disciplinary problem-solving is another. The American workforce is starved for people who can bridge fields, someone who understands engineering, but also business, someone who grasps technology, but also psychology, someone who can combine insights from multiple worlds into a direction no algorithm could generate. Leadership remains irreplaceable. AI can coordinate, it can predict, it can optimize, but it cannot inspire people, make them feel heard, or unify a team during difficult moments. Humans follow vision, not code. Ethics and judgment matter more than ever. Many of the most consequential decisions of the next decade won't be about what AI can do, but what it should do. And someone has to live with the consequences, morally and legally. That responsibility doesn't fall on the machine, it falls on us. And perhaps most importantly, contextual decision-making. AI sees patterns. Humans see stories. We understand why something matters, not just what it looks like. We can weigh history, culture, emotion, risk, timing, the full spectrum of real-world context. That's something no model can fully replicate. These are the skills America is starving for. Not because AI is strong, but because humans with these strengths become even stronger when paired with AI. And that brings us to the rise of a completely new category of work jobs that didn't exist 5 years ago and may become essential 5 years from now. As AI spreads through companies, someone needs to supervise it. Someone needs to evaluate its output, catch errors, spot inconsistencies, monitor hallucinations, and verify that the system did what it was supposed to do. Someone needs to oversee multiple AI tools and orchestrate them into a single, cohesive workflow. New roles are emerging with titles like AI Supervisor, AI Orchestrator, AI Workflow Designer, and AI Quality Controller. These are not jobs for coders. They're jobs for people who understand how to think, how to verify, how to judge, how to manage. America is entering an era where the most valuable workers won't be the ones who do the task, but the ones who make sure the task is done correctly. So how do you future-proof your career in a world where AI keeps getting better? First, focus on the skills AI cannot automate: judgment, strategy, creativity, leadership, communication, cross-disciplinary thinking. These aren't buzzwords, they're economic armor. Second, learn to use AI as a tool, not as a threat, not as a competitor, as leverage. The workers who thrive over the next decade won't be the ones ignoring AI. They'll be the ones who treat it like an exoskeleton, something that multiplies their output, their speed, and their influence. Third, specialize. Not in broad generic fields, but in areas with high barriers to entry, fields where expertise, certification, and deep understanding still matter. The world doesn't need more people who know a little about everything. It needs people who know a lot about something AI can't fully replace. And finally, build relationships. Build a network. Build a personal brand. In America, opportunities flow through trust. AI may write your emails, but it cannot build your reputation. It cannot replace the value of being someone people want to work with, follow, or hire. The future of work won't be decided only by algorithms. It will be decided by humans who understand how to use those algorithms better than anyone else. AI won't wipe out all jobs, but it will wipe out the jobs of people who ignore it. The workers who thrive in the next decade aren't the ones trying to outrun AI, they're the ones learning to run with it. If you found this breakdown helpful, if you want more reality-based analysis about how technology is reshaping the American economy, And if you want to stay ahead of the curve instead of being blindsided by it, then stick around. So, if you want more reality-based breakdowns like this, subscribe.